Let's take a trip to Konkan, a beautiful coastal region in India. During the monsoon season, it's just a paradise. You've got waterfalls, incredible greenery. It's the kind of place you go to make memories that'll last a lifetime. But as we're about to find out, sometimes the stories you bring home are the kind that haunt.
And wow, that quote pretty much says it all, doesn't it? It's this perfect little hint that under all that beauty, something way, way darker can be waiting. Today's story is one of those, and it's all about a young man named Ajay.
You see, this horse doesn't kick off with a ghost or a monster. Nope, it begins with something much more familiar, a broken friendship. Ajay and his best friend Shlok had been thick as thieves since they were kids. But you know how it is. As they got older, life just started to pull them in different directions.
And here's where things really started to go south. These two had this pact, this big dream of having a joint destination wedding. You know, celebrating their futures side by side. But Shlok broke it. He decided to get married first, and not at some cool destination, but in his family's village back in Konkan. For Ajay, this felt like a total betrayal. So he shows up to this wedding already feeling angry, hurt, and just distant.
So the tension just keeps building and building until it finally snaps. Ajay is forced to share a room with a bunch of other guests, and after just one night, he is completely done. He goes to Shlok and gives him an ultimatum. You either find me my own private room, or I'm out of here. He said he'd only come back for the main ceremony. He was basically drawing a line in the sand.
Shlok is, well, he's backed into a corner, right? So he reluctantly comes up with a solution. There's an old empty house nearby. But you could just tell he was hesitant. This wasn't just some random empty house. This was a place with a seriously dark history.
Shlok tells him straight up, look man, the house is cursed. Something really terrible happened there. But Ajay, he's having none of it. He's still fuming and just wants his own space. He couldn't care less about some local superstition. He just wanted to be alone. So as Shlok hands over the keys, he gives Ajay one last instruction. And it's weird. A really peculiar, simple request that just seemed totally out of place. It really just adds to this creepy feeling. That was it. The instruction was just ring the bell. Shlok didn't explain why. So when Ajay gets to the house, it's pouring rain, he's soaked, he's miserable, and he just wants to get inside. And in his rush, he completely forgets. He sticks the key in the lock, opens the door, and breaks the one and only rule he was given. So, picture this. He gets inside and immediately things feel off. The whole place is old and covered in dust. Outside, there's a well that's been sealed shut with this huge, heavy cover. And the strangest thing of all, a massive tree in the yard is completely bare, no leaves, in the middle of a monsoon. I mean, the warning signs were literally everywhere. Ajay's first night in that house goes from comfortable to absolutely terrifying pretty fast. A whole series of things start happening that just cannot be explained. The very first thing he notices, his phone signal is gone. The second he crossed that doorway, it was like he was completely cut off from the rest of the world. Total, complete isolation. So he's about to step back outside, maybe see if he can get a signal, and slam. The heavy main door just slams shut with this incredible force. He tries to tell himself, okay, it's just the wind from the storm. But then he looks out the window and realizes the rain has stopped. There is no wind, not even a breeze. Later that night, he gets woken up by the sound of a really loud, really violent argument. He follows the noise down the hall to this one room, but when he gets there and tries to handle, it's padlocked from the outside. How could anyone be arguing inside a room that's locked from his side of the door?
The next night is even worse. He gets back late from some of the wedding events, and his experience goes from just creepy noises to a direct, horrifying showdown with whatever is in that house.
It's about 2 in the morning when he pulls up to the house, and right away he knows something is seriously wrong. That huge, heavy cover that was sealing the well shut, it's just gone, vanished. The black, gaping hole is now just open to the night. He's terrified, but he has to know what's going on. So Ajay creeps up to the window of that locked room. A flash of lightning lights up the inside, and he sees him. A man, standing there, holding a dagger and just plunging it into his own chest, over and over again. Ajay is so horrified, he stumbles backward and makes a noise. The figure inside stops. It turns, and its eyes lock right onto Ajay's. It starts screaming at him, this voice just filled with rage and panic, begging Ajay to let him out so he can see if she is still alive. As Ajay is scrambling, he hears it, a loud splash coming from the now open well. He runs over, peers down into the darkness, and sees the floating body of a woman. Her back is just covered in stab wounds. And then, the impossible happens.
The corpse's eyes fly open. The ghost of the woman looks directly up at Ajay and screams this desperate warning, begging him not to open that locked room, terrified that the man will get out and kill her all over again. And then she just sinks back into the dark water.
Ajay just runs. I mean, who wouldn't? He leaves his car, his keys, everything, and just runs until he stumbles upon a little shop that's still open. And it's there that the old shopkeeper finally explains the horrifying story of what he just saw.
So this is where all the pieces fall into place. The shopkeeper tells him that years and years ago, a husband who lived in that house became convinced his wife was cheating on him. One day he came home, found his fears were true, and just snapped. He murdered her, threw her body in the well, and then went into that room, padlocked it from the inside, and killed himself. Now they're both trapped there, stuck forever, repeating their last violent, awful moments night after night. Ajay eventually tells Shlok everything that happened, confirming these dark legends that had basically been a ghost story in his family for generations. But for Ajay, getting the explanation didn't fix anything. It didn't heal the wound. It just made it all so much more real. That night left a scar on Ajay that nobody could see. He couldn't shake the images, the sounds, the absolute terror, every shadow. That night left a scar on Ajay that nobody could see. He couldn't shake the images, the sounds, the absolute terror, every shadow, every dark room, just brought it all back. Over time, the trauma just consumed him, and the man who was once a happy, vibrant friend was just dismissed by everyone as mentally ill. And that brings us to the end. It's such a chilling reminder that some wounds aren't physical, right? They're etched into your mind. Not every ghost story ends just because you managed to escape the house. And it really makes you wonder, if you saw what he saw, would you have ever truly escaped? Or would a piece of you be left behind in that cursed house forever?